Hello, this is Flurry Moon. Welcome back to my channel, and today we are doing Reddit stories once again, and we have Louie here with us.
Hello.
We are just gonna get right into it. We have a few stories. I'm drinking a Coke Zero. Let me open that up real quick. Take a sip. Comment below what you're drinking, and we're just gonna get right into this. Our first story. Am I the asshole for slapping a teenager? I, 32 female, was at a water park this last weekend with my husband, 32 male, and my daughter. We were in one of those pools practicing swimming and keeping to ourselves. There was a group of teen boys there, and while I was working with my daughter on swimming, one of them came up behind me and I felt a tug on the strings of my top, untying it. I spun around and saw this 15 to 17-year-old with a smirk, and I slapped him. This quickly caused a scene. The park staff got involved, as well as the boys' parents, who were livid at me. My husband and another lady saw it happen and confirmed that he did really grab my top. There was also camera around the pool that kind of show it, but wasn't the best angle. The boys' parents threatened assault charges, and I threatened sexual assault charges if they decided to go that way. Eventually, we were both asked to leave, and I haven't heard anything since. My husband, though, still thinks I overreacted a bit, which I don't. Am I the asshole?
No. I'm sorry, but like it's one thing to protect your kids, but he made a mistake by doing that, so hold him accountable for that.
Yeah, I feel like if you're old enough to touch people without their consent and trying to untie her top in public, these hands are rated E for everyone. Like I'll fucking slap you if you touch me.
Yeah, literally.
Especially because 15 to 17, he knows better. This isn't a 7-year-old who hasn't been taught yet. He smirked, he knew.
He knew it was bad.
Yeah, I think the parents should be apologizing and not threatening to sue her or assault charges or whatever. I think that's so ridiculous.
Because
go ahead, sorry.
Because they're kind of taking his side.
Yeah.
It's just our perfect little angel can do no wrong. It's actually he can.
He can,
so
and
everyone
he did.
can,
Yeah, no, this is just ridiculous. And it's showing him that if you do something like that, we'll back you up, which is so stupid and disgusting. And I feel like you could say that's self-defense. he touched her first. So top comment, not the asshole, that's a natural reaction. I'd probably do the same by natural reflex.
Yeah, even if I don't know. I mean, it's different for women, but for me, speaking as a man, even me, no top or anything that I'm trying to reveal, or I mean, not reveal, conceal on my top area of my body. Even if someone grabbed me or my shirt, the elbow's coming out. You know what I mean?
Right?
Because it's startling. It's not consented to. It's unwarranted. And it's devious in that context.
He knew. He knew. She said, he smirked. He knew he was doing something bad.
Right.
So,
it's not like it's a baby who, just doesn't know not to, yank things, Because that, it's I mean, it's a baby. But he smirked. He's like, hey, 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 That's, if you're gonna use your hands to reveal someone's body to the world, then they can use their hands to beat the ever-living shit out of you.
Yeah, no, for real. This is just ridiculous. And I feel like this was a very cut and dry post. I feel like you're not the asshole. I definitely feel like your husband needs a slap too, because he's saying she overreacted.
Ugh.
I don't overreact. What would the right response be? I guess the correct response would probably be hey, where are your parents? Also, he shouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's why are we talking about reactions, good reactions, when he was the one in the wrong in the first place? I don't know. And the fact that the park staff asked them both to leave is kind of fucked up too.
Yeah. Classic corporate.
It's she's the victim here, the fuck? I don't know. I guess I understand, he's underage, but I really don't care. I feel like you're old enough to know better. Anyway, so one of the top comments, it's so frustrating to me that these parents are defending the little perv. I mean, perpetrator. It's cause and effect. If he hadn't placed his hands on a woman and attempted to undress her in public, he wouldn't have deservedly had his face slapped. Their acting like he's the victim is outrageous and only encourages him to think that behavior is acceptable. You reacted out of natural instinct and would not have hit him if he had not attacked you. This isn't a joke, and his parents downplaying his actions make me furious. I'd personally file a complaint, but that's me. His parents obviously aren't going to hold him accountable. I just hope there's not another victim in his future, not the asshole. Pretty much, yeah, because what is this teaching him? Like, this is teaching him that, like, he can do whatever he wants. And this, he's not just going to grow out of that. He's already old enough, you know what I mean? It's like, what a douche. I wish this could have been, like a teaching moment for him. Like, if I was his parent, I would be like, I don't know where the fuck you heard that is okay, but it's not, and then he could be like, oh shit, I'm never doing that again. You know what I mean? Like, that could have been a teaching moment, but instead his dumbass parents are teaching him, like, we'll stick up for you when you do shit like that. So fuck them, fuck the kid, fuck the park staff. And that's so upsetting that they're just trying to have like a little family outing at a pool and shit like this happens because men suck, boys suck, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, just the classic, like, demeaning women's feelings thing with, like, the husband being like, you overreacted. That's, like, most men to women be like, you know, because
that shit would piss me off so much. Yeah. I understand being like, violence is never the answer. I don't know, but it's just in my eyes, I'm like, that's self-defense. Like, if anyone puts their hands on you, like, it's fair game.
Yeah.
Like, they started that shit. You know what I mean? And it was just a slap. It's not like she beat the shit out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I would have been, like, if she was, like, beating him to a pulp or something, I would be like, okay, all right, like, do you need therapy? Like, yeah. I would be like, let's get you help. But, like, she just slapped him. It's the same shit. You know what I mean? It's like, he tried to undress her. She slapped him.
That's the natural give and take.
Yeah, talk shit,
law
get hit.
Of the
fuck?
universe.
Like,
yeah, slapping is like the classic men do something bad to women retaliate thing.
Yeah. It's a retaliation. Yeah. It's not like she attacked him first. Anyway, I feel like we're going to be talking about this forever, but not the asshole. This husband kind of sucks, in my opinion, for saying she overreacted, but whatever. Let's move on to the next story.
She should have punched him, in my opinion.
Right? Like, you're the asshole for not punching him instead.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one also comes with an update, and this one kind of blew up in the subreddit. So this came from AITA, same with the last one. It's basically just another version of Am I the Asshole? And I think I actually mentioned this post to you or something similar, because this really, like, sparked up debate and, like, a lot of opinions and stuff. But it's really interesting. So I'm sure you guys have heard of this, but if you haven't, am I the asshole for being truthful and admitting that I find my wife unattractive after her surgery? My wife had plastic surgery recently. We had discussed it, and I was against it. It was not my decision, and ultimately, I had no say. She looks weird now. She had the fat sucked out of her face, lip fillers, a neck lift, other stuff I don't really get. She gives me uncanny valley vibes now. It freaks me out. She's fully healed, and she wants us to go back to normal, like me initiating sex. I have done so, but not as much as I used to, and when I do try, I make sure there's very little light. It's been a few months, and I kind of dread having to look at her. Obviously, she has noticed. She's been bugging me to tell her what's up. I've tried telling her I'm just tired from work, or that I'm run down. Really anything except for the truth. She broke down and asked me if I was having an affair. I said that I wasn't. She asked to look at my phone. I unlocked it for her and handed it over. I wasn't worried about her finding anything because there is nothing to find. She spent an hour looking through it and found nothing. She asked me to explain why I changed. I tried explaining that I just wasn't that interested right now. Nothing I said was good enough for her. She kept digging. I finally told the truth. I wasn't harsh or brutally honest. I just told her that her new face wasn't something I found attractive and that I was turned off. She asked if that's why I turn off all the lights now. I said yes. She started crying and said she needed some time alone. She went to stay with her sister. I have been called every name in the book since this happened. Her sister says I'm a piece of shit for insulting my wife's looks. Her friends all think I'm the asshole. I tried not to say anything. I can't force myself to find her attractive. I still love her, but her face is just weird now. She looks like the blue alien from The Fifth Element. Do you know what that looks like?
I heard about this movie recently, but I haven't seen it.
I'll put a picture. I haven't.
Yeah. Ugh, I'm so conflicted and confused about this. Like,
I know.
oh God, I don't know.
This is like really hard. I think it would have been different if this was like a surgery, like if it was like a surgery she really needed for something. And then he was like kind of shallow about it. Because I feel like it's hard because on one hand, you can't force yourself to be attracted to someone. But on the other hand, it's like when you're marrying someone, it's like in sickness and in health. Like I think you should marry someone realizing that like their looks could change drastically. And you have to learn to be okay with it. You know what I mean? But this isn't like she got into an accident or something. It's like she chose to do these surgeries that, like, I feel like nobody needs. Like, I think she got, by the way he's describing it, I think she got buccal fat removal or buccal fat. I don't know how to say it. It's basically like something I want. No, I'm just kidding. But like, if you have like the chub in your cheeks, like they take out, so you have this like chiseled kind of handsome Squidward ass look. And it's kind of a trend right now, and that's why all these, like, I don't know, and I feel like Ozempic is such a big thing. Like, everyone's faces are kind of looking shriveled. She got lip fillers. I mean, this is a big... So he says she had plastic surgery. So I don't know if they did this all in one, like, because I feel like you usually go for, like, oh, like, I got lip filler the other day. In a few months, I want to get this on my face or whatever, but it sounds like they just did this all in one. So for him, she's going away and coming back looking like a completely different person. And I don't blame him for not finding her attractive, because like it does make people look pretty weird. If anything, I feel bad for her for thinking she ever even had to do this. But I mean, he said from the very beginning, like, he was against it. So it's not like he made her feel this way.
Yeah.
I don't know if someone else did. I think there's an update, like there's more information, but this is the first post we got. What do you think?
This is like one of the hardest Reddit stories we've come up with, because for me, it's like, there's so many layers to this. Like, he didn't make her feel this way. I feel like I'm so used to hearing about the man making the woman feel like bad about her body to the point of pushing her into a terrible choice that ruins her life. Like, this is a perfect example of how having insecurity about like the natural wonderfulness and beauty of all of our bodies can be so damaging to a family or a partnership, and it's so hard when you struggle with that to like be moving on from that, or like, you know, not letting it get to you. But like, it's just, it goes to show this is a perfect example of like why like it's just not like it's not natural. So
it's hard to naturally be attracted to that.
To have a natural attractitiveness.
That's actually really interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's fake.
It's
like,
fake.
so your body, like, I feel like, because like, I feel like you go into marriage and just in a relationship in general, I feel like everyone should take this advice. Like, you go into it knowing that you're going to age together. You're going to, if you have kids, mostly the woman's body is going to change. The man, like, even if nothing's wrong, like, sometimes people gain and lose weight. Like, oh my God, Louis has been with me through so many hair colors, so many weights. I shapeshift once a year. Like, you have to go into it knowing this person isn't going to look like this forever. Like, things change, whatever. But those are natural changes.
Can I add something to that?
Absolutely.
So aging is different, of course, as we all know, than plastic surgery. Because aging, you could be the oldest motherfucker in the universe. And as long as you don't tamper with the beauty of the genetics, features that have been loved throughout the generations, and it shows as proof because you're alive and you were born.
Yes.
Like, basically, like, you're gonna look slay. Like, you're gonna look beautiful even in old age, because your natural beauty from your youth is still there when you're older. It's just slightly wrinkled, or it's different shades of the skin, or I don't know, just
No, yeah.
aging. But it's like when you tamper with it, your genetic material and your cells are like, what the fuck is going on? So then it just freaks out in conjunction with what happened to your body. So then it just becomes this like unsightly mess.
Yes. And so I want to also preface, like, I don't think either of us are trying to like shit on plastic surgery. I feel like I can see the appeal, you know, it's like we have this one body for the rest of our life. Like, why sit around and be miserable about it if we could change it and it's safe and everything works out? And I feel like there's nothing wrong with getting like some lip filler if you want your lips to be more plump when you wear makeup and stuff, or like, oh, if you don't like the wrinkles on your forehead so you want to get Botox. Like, I don't think I would ever do any of this, but like, I'm totally, if it makes you feel great, like, go for it. I do feel like it does more harm than good. But this is a completely different story. Like, she didn't just get like a little, whatever. Like, she just came back looking supposedly like an alien from a movie. And so because like she can't naturally look like this, like I can totally see why this is shocking. And I don't think he's the asshole at all for feeling this way. I think he's a bit of the asshole for not telling her
right
immediately. Away. But I understand also why he didn't want to. Like, he's trying to, like, maybe I can just forget about it. Maybe I'll get used to it. But, like, also she's sitting here being like, is he cheating on me? Like, she's getting worried. I don't think, like, anyone here is really the asshole. I think he could have went about it better. But also, like, she could have went about it better, too. Like, she could have. And, I mean, this is so hard. This is definitely, like you said, the hardest one we've ever done because, like, at the end of the day, it's her body. She could do whatever she wants. But also, like, it is also important to take into account, like, what your partner thinks because, like, he's sitting here telling you, like, you are beautiful. Like, I don't want you to change anything. Yeah. So, like, you have to know that, like, going into it, he might not like it. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you're fine with that, go, like, if you're like, no, this is for me, whatever. But, like, you can't be that shocked that he didn't like it when he said from the very beginning.
You can't control how he feels. You can't impose your, decision on him and force him to feel a certain way because guess what? At the end of the day, all of our actions have consequences. Your consequence was he doesn't think you're beautiful anymore because, and sorry, but it's a harsh truth. He told you, right? This is what would happen.
Yeah.
So
I think,
guess what?
Yeah, I feel bad for both of them. I don't think anyone here is in the wrong. No. It's just like an unfortunate situation.
It is unfortunate. No one's in the wrong.
So top comment, not the asshole. I think you handled the situation as well as you could, but there's a difficult conversation you and her need to have soon. Yes. Someone else said, oh God, if she did the buccal fat remover, I totally feel you. It makes people look freaky. And he responds, yeah, that's it. Thanks, I couldn't remember. So she did get, so it's just like handsome Squidward. Anyway, so there is an update, I believe. Let me go to his page. So this was not too long after the original post was made. Update on finding my wife unattractive after her plastic surgery. My wife came home yesterday and we finally had a long talk. She told me that the reason she had the surgery was because her mom and sister talked her into it. They convinced her that she was starting to look old and that I would find someone else to be with if she did not do something. That's why her mom gave her the money for the operations. Oh my God. Her mom and sister look like Bruce Campbell in Escape from LA. Okay, there's more references I don't understand. I'm assuming they get plastic surgery a lot. They are the very last people on the planet that should be telling anyone to get plastic surgery. I used some of the comments I read on my post as talking points. I told her that I loved her and that she was the person that I wanted to spend my life with. I told her that the surgery would take a while longer to settle down and that as I got more used to her new face, I would learn to appreciate it. She asked me if I wanted her to see if she could get it reversed. I almost screamed at her. The last thing in the world I want is for her to fuck up her face more than it already is. I asked her if she could please just leave it and let me get used to it. We talked for about 3 more hours and we decided that her mom and sister would not be a part of any decisions in our life going forward. She is going to leave her face alone and give me a chance to get used to it. We are going to look for a marriage counselor and maybe individual counselors for each of us. I am going to make an effort to show her every day how I still find her desirable, and she is going to make an effort to believe me when I tell her I love her the way she is. We are going to talk to her mom and sister and tell them that we are taking a break from them. We are going to block them and get our shit together before we allow them back into our lives. Thank you to everyone who tried to help me. I would like to add that I did not think there were many guys out there with a weird blue squid lady fetish. It isn't for me, but you do you. Okay, so people must have been like, ooh, after he said whatever. That's funny. Damn. So I think it's like we said, like someone else was in her ear telling her to do these things.
First of all, good for them. Good for them. I mean, everybody handles relationships differently, but if they both feel strongly about going about it this way, all the power to them. Here's the thing. I don't think her mom and sister trust this man. I don't think they like this guy. Because they don't trust his faithfulness to her. They think, oh, he's just going to cheat on you if you da, 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 da. And it's like, no, like clearly he really loves her, but you don't know that.
I think they're projecting onto her relationship because they must have been in relationships like that where the guy, as the girl gets older, starts to make comments, you need to lose a few pounds, when you were 20 you look so much better, like stuff like that. So they're just assuming all men are like this.
That's the root of the problem.
That's what I think, because like people like that, people say stupid shit like that all the time. It's like, oh, you better keep up with your appearance if you don't want him to look the other way. You know, it's like such a bullshit thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it sucks that like, you know, women are made to feel that way, but like a lot of the time we are. It's like after you're 30, you're like gross. You know what I mean? Which I think is so stupid. I don't know if the mom and sister are just jealous of the way she looks and they're just like trying to fuck her over. I don't know if they like the guy. I don't know. I think they'll do good. I feel like I like that they're going to couples and regular therapy, like one-on-one. I feel like that's really good. Like, I think they could get through this. Like, I don't think this is the end. And I feel like there's like, this is what life is all about. Like, you go through the motions and there's bumps in the road. I think they're communicating better. Because the first one, I feel like they weren't communicating that well.
He was procrastinating.
Yeah, but I can understand. Like, I feel like it's a hard thing to talk about.
It's so hard to just bite the bullet and be like, okay, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, like, you know this procedure you went through? I hate it.
You know what it's like? It's like standing on the top of a pool and you have to jump from the plank. You know that? And you're like, it's like, oh, it's so high.
You see all, like what's going to happen.
You know,
yeah.
You're like, I got to do it. But you just can't do it. Taking that leap into just saying what you're feeling. It's like, probably that's what he was feeling like or something. So.
Yeah. I didn't like the way he said the last thing in the world I want is for her to fuck up her face even more than it already is. I feel like that's kind of mean. Like, you know what I mean?
That
it's
is
like,
pretty mean.
we already hurt. We already get it. You don't like it. It's like, I'm sure it can't look that bad. I'm sure it's just shocking. Like, this is your wife. You know what I mean? And it's just, that's a lot to go through. She got fat sucked out of her face. She got lips, she got this, she got that. It's like, it's a big change. And I'm sure, I don't know how long it's been since the surgery, but a lot of the time, like, your face, like, is still, like, you're still swollen, and it can take even up to a year to, like, fully relax. Like, even if you get, like, a boob job or a breast reduction or a nose job, it always starts off bigger and swollen, and then it kind of goes. So, I don't know, maybe you just need to wait, and I think it's a good idea to, you know, try not to reverse them too much just yet. But I think it'll work.
He was kind of the asshole for saying fuck up. He should have said changed. Like, and I don't want her to change her face any more than it has already been changed.
I agree. I think the wording was pretty bad on that. But at the end of the day, it's like, I just keep going back to in sickness and in health. Like, you have to be okay with the person in front of you changing. And it sucks that it was a choice she made, but like, I don't know. I feel like it's not your fault for being unattracted to her. I just think it is your fault if you go about it badly. And I feel like he didn't do great at first, but I feel like this will work. So top comment, I am not confident in my appearance at all, but you know who tell me I'm beautiful even though I look like a yam? My mom and sisters. Fuck your wife's family for doing that to her. Absolutely. Yeah, like your family is supposed to kind of hype you up. Like, you know what I mean? They're supposed to, especially think about like,
yeah,
that's her mom. Like, she got, I'm assuming, like a good amount of her features from her. Like, shouldn't she try to tell her that they're beautiful and, oh, like, you have my nose,
well,
you know?
she hates her own nose.
She hates her own self. Yeah, like
so she projects her own self-hate.
It's all projection.
Yeah.
That was a wild one. That it's just very, very, a lot of layers, but I think we did pretty good. Maybe let's try to find something a bit more lighthearted. This was posted 7 days ago in AITA. And the post is, am I the asshole for ordering pizza at my friend's wedding because there was no food? Me and my wife were invited to my friend's wedding. The wedding was going to have about 70 people with mostly family. When we got there, we were seated at a table with some other people. Nice people, and we mingled well and had a good time chatting. The wedding was also quite nice. Both my friend and his new wife were very happy. After the ceremony, every table got 2 bottles of wine, bread and butter, and there was also an open bar, so we started to have a few drinks. Then the food came out. It looked really good. The food was set up for a buffet. I was half buzzed and looking forward to getting some food in my belly. When it was time to eat, every few tables at a time were going to get called, which is fine. The first few tables that were called were understandably the family of both sides. The problem was that the family members, his in-laws, are larger people. Now, I don't shame people for how much they eat, but I noticed the helpings of food they had while I was waiting patiently for us to be called. I also noticed that they went for seconds before all the tables were called, and no one stopped them. I didn't say anything, though. I thought that was rude. I just assumed that there was a lot of food. To my surprise, by the time we were called, there was nothing left. I asked if there was more coming out, and apparently that already occurred. So we grabbed the little we could and went back to sit down and ate the scraps. We were all still pretty hungry and a bit pissed off, so we kind of shit-talked, basically, the first few tables that ate all the food. Someone mentioned that they could go for some pizza, and then I had the drunken idea of ordering some, lol. So that's what we all did. We all pitched in and ordered 4 large pizzas and some chicken wings from a local pizza joint close to the venue so that it didn't take long to be delivered. I met the guy outside and brought the food to our table, and we started to eat. Some of the other tables noticed and asked where the pizza came from. Apparently, some of the other tables close to ours didn't get any food either, so we shared with them. This caused some commotion because other people were looking for and asking the wedding party if there was pizza available. I guess there were others that didn't get to eat either. We did share with anyone who asked us. My friend came to talk to me about why I ordered the food. His bride was not happy about it. It ruined the aesthetics. So I told him that we didn't get to eat and that the food ran out long before our tables were called, and we were really hungry. He then asked why we didn't just step out and eat and then come back. Though annoyed about that, I respectively explained to him that we were all drinking on an empty stomach, and that it probably wasn't the best idea to have drunk people walking around looking for food. I don't think he liked that, but went back to his bride, who was glaring at us. Like, what were we supposed to do? Starve? This wasn't the end, though. As we were finishing eating, one of the in-laws came to our table and asked where the pizza came from. This is where I may be the asshole. There were 2 slices left. I know he was eyeing them. I asked the other people at my table if they wanted one. Everyone declined. This guy then said he'd have one. I then took the 2 slices, I put them on my plate, and started to eat them. Then looking at him and said something like, no, you and everyone at your tables had way more than your fair share of the buffet and ate all of it. This is the reason we ordered in the first place. And now you have the nerve to ask us to share. His face went red. He then returned to his table. There was a lot of discussion going on there. They were all looking back at us with daggers. The bride looked even more ticked off at us. She had a bit of an argument with my friend. He eventually came back to tell us we had to leave. I didn't mean to start any problems, so me and my wife called a cab and left. He called a few days later, and we had a long talk. I explained my perspective, and he agreed that the in-laws were really rude for eating all the food and leaving most of the other guests with very little. A lot of people actually complained to him about it. Everyone was drinking, thinking that there would be more food, and they were disappointed. He was upset with his in-laws because he told them how many guests there would be and to order the food for that many people. He also saw how much they were taking but assumed they ordered enough. He was wrong. He brought this up with his wife, and she said that apparently because the in-laws paid for the alcohol and the food, they felt entitled to eat what they wanted. She was really mad at them and reamed them out for tainting her special day. He also said a lot of the non-family guests started to leave soon after we left because they too were hungry. They still had fun celebrating, but it did kind of put a downer on their special day. Out of 70 people, about 30 left. I also found out that the guy that came to our table was his father-in-law. Father-in-law was really embarrassed by what I said to him. He felt pretty bad when he found out close to half the guests didn't get to eat anything and left early. So, am I the asshole?
No.
No.
No. They have no hospitality, or they messed up.
Yeah, like
if they messed up, I'm sorry, but no, fuck them. Fuck them and their wedding. Sorry.
Dude,
No,
like,
no.
So, at first, reading this, I was like, I can understand because, I don't know, if I threw a wedding and we picked out this food and we thought we had enough, and then I walk over and see a bunch of people with pizza boxes, I think I would feel embarrassed for myself because I would be like, oh my God, did I not supply enough food for my guests? I would be sad, you know what I mean? But I feel like the bride was upset for different reasons. I feel like she was upset because it ruined the aesthetic.
That's a problem.
And maybe it's just because I am if we had a wedding, there would be pizza. So I don't think I would be upset about aesthetics. I would be more embarrassed that I didn't supply enough food.
Let me put it this way. If we were having a wedding and people order pizzas, I would be so apologetic and freaking out, apologizing to them. Oh my goodness, did we not get the right type of food? Are there food allergies? I
would be the same.
I wouldn't be shooting daggers when I did the wrong thing. The nerve of the fucking idiots. It makes me so mad.
And I feel like I'm glad eventually the blame was more pointed to the people who didn't supply enough food and then ate all that was left. I feel like eventually they called and was OP's friend got married. So his in-laws, so the wife's family was supposed to take care of the food, have enough food for them, and they were the ones who ate it all. So they were thinking, well, we got all the food so we can have as much as we want, but you didn't get enough. And the fact that that many people were like, hey, this pizza, I didn't get any food. I would be so embarrassed.
They're greedy bastards is what they are.
No. The family.
The family? Yeah. Just because you paid for it does not mean you get to decide who eats and who starves.
And the fact that they went up for seconds before all the tables were even called.
No, they're scoundrels for that. They need to be thrown in the dungeon. I don't know. Are you serious? Yeah, they're clearly in the wrong. Nobody should even be having a dialogue about this. Why is this even an Am I the Asshole?
I know. Again, also, at first when I read it, I thought he was a bit of an asshole for, being,
petty.
Kind of petty. I don't think he's wrong. I really don't. But I feel like at that point, I would be like, okay, people are upset with me enough. I'm not going to, be super mean. I don't think he was wrong. I just think, I probably wouldn't have been that petty because, people are already upset with me. You know what I mean?
I feel like even if people were upset with me, I would kind of have a hard time resisting doing that, but I would resist.
You would resist. I don't think you would have done that.
No.
This guy definitely has balls, but I think his sentiment, he was right. You know what I mean? It's and the fact that the father-in-law, it was the bride's dad was so there's pizza?
Yeah.
Bro, what, Especially people are drinking on an empty stomach. Like that's not good. Like they're gonna get way drunker way quicker. I know, I did it last night, and I'm just like, that's, you're supposed to be accommodating, like, to these are your guests, you know what I mean? It's your wedding, it's your special day, but also you're in charge of making sure that you're a good host, and they didn't. So I feel like the bride kind of pisses me off, but I'm glad eventually she was more mad at her family. So there's an edit. So let's see. 1, the only reason I ordered pizzas was because I was drinking. All I ate that day was a sandwich for lunch and some bread that was at the table, so I needed something more substantial. I needed something more substantial in my stomach so I wouldn't get sick. So no, I couldn't wait it out a few hours. I wasn't the only person drinking either because the open bar was booming. However, I guess I could have held back on drinking a bit until the food came out. But you shouldn't have to, because everyone drank assuming there'd be food soon. You know what I mean? I think if they were told, hey, there's not a lot of food, like, don't drink as much, like, they would have. But they were expecting food.
It's not this guy's fucking job to plan things and be like, oh, I need to do that. No, sit down, forget about everything, be too drunk, let the fuckers who promised they would do their part do their part. Don't let them be greedy bastards stealing all the food because we did all the work. What, you paid for something? Okay, do you want a cookie? Like, fuck you.
Okay, let's get to the rest of it. 2, to those saying I fat shamed the father-in-law, I'm going to have to disagree. I didn't say anything to him about his body. I was only honest with him about why I had to order the food. I don't judge people based on looks and accept everyone for who they are as they are. You can't judge a book by its cover, so I judge people based on their actions. If you knew me, you would see that my friend group ranges from basic people to freaks and weirdos, lol. In fact, a good friend of mine, nicknamed Crusher, is a big dude, absolutely hilarious and super fun to hang out with. 3, this is not an AI generated post, lol. My intelligence may be me too. My intelligence may be limited. Why can't I say that word? My intelligence may be limited, but there is nothing artificial about it. 4, the buffet was at my friend's request. He loves buffets, and this was his added touch to the wedding. He also chose the dishes. I know that it is not common for weddings to do buffets, but that's what he wanted. Wait, there's an update. Okay, this is going on for a bit too long, so maybe we'll just do this update and then be done. Hey guys, I already have an update. First, I never stated when the wedding happened. The wedding was last week on July 20th. Oh, so this was pretty recent. My friend just stopped by for a little bit. Apparently, his wife was more upset than he initially said, but not at me, towards her family. He also said she wanted apologies for booting me. She wanted maybe to apologize, I think. So father-in-law feels really bad, and he is going to step up and try to fix the situation. He's going to throw an after-wedding shindig, lol, his words. Everyone who is at the wedding will be invited, including me, my wife, and some additional people. They were thinking there will be about 100 guests. Father-in-law also promised that there will be an assortment of food, more than enough for everyone, plus an army, lol. He also wanted to personally let me know that there will be 50 large pizzas from the same joint I ordered from. That is his way of adding some humor to the situation. I think it's pretty funny, lol. He's also going to hire a DJ or live band, possibly have some fireworks and arrange other events like axe throwing and a bonfire. This actually sounds like it's going to be a real fun time. The only difference is that it will be BYOB event, which is no big deal. Father-in-law is pulling in a favor from a friend of his who owns a farm. The farm has 2 guest houses and the main house as well, as plenty of space outside. About 50 people can be squeezed in between the 3 houses, so he's going to encourage people to bring RVs. I have one. Campers and tents if they can. Nothing is official yet, but they are looking to hold the shindig around mid-August. Sounds like this is going to be a blast. I'll update you when I can. Okay, so they made it better.
How fucking rich is this guy? I'm sorry, but fireworks, live band, DJ, 50.
I know, this is definitely a bit much. It is good. I'm definitely glad, because I mean, think about the way this could have went. Like, he could have been like, nope, I'm standing by my shitty actions and fuck all you. Like, he's rightfully embarrassed, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna make it up to you. Like, I feel like it could have gone a lot worse. I don't think, like, he's like, a bad guy. I think he just kind of messed up. But I mean, it seems like he's not the only one who took a lot of food. I don't think all the blame is on this guy. I feel like the whole family like ate way too much. But I feel like this is like pretty cool of him. And yeah.
That's so much money. Just to apologize for pizzas getting ordered and shit. Like, dude, put your wallet down.
Honestly, I would be more like, it's hard to say how the original wedding went down. Like, it seems like a lot of people did leave, and so it kind of was a letdown. So maybe they're just trying to, like, recreate what they wanted in the first place. Like, something fun to celebrate them. I was about to say, like, don't give me another wedding. Just give me, like, a ton of money so I can, like, buy a house or something. Yeah. Like, this sounds like a lot of money that could just, like, go. Not me, the daughter. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But the fact that this man can throw 2 gigantic, massive, colossal weddings back to back, and he's adding fireworks. that gets me. What is this? Like the red carpet?
I
Disney
feel like fireworks
World?
aren't that expensive.
But like, I don't know. It adds up. Just thinking about how many months, years of my paychecks it would take to cover something like that.
This guy's definitely loaded for sure.
Like, what the fuck?
Anyway, so I'm not the asshole. I mean, we already did all the updates and stuff. Yeah, I feel like this is kind of a lesson to everyone listening. Maybe if you're gonna do a buffet wedding, just like really think it through and make sure there's a lot of food. Because it, like, typical weddings, it's like, we were just at one, like, you pick what you want beforehand, and then you get your plate, and for the appetizers, it's just kind of like, kind of like buffet style. You pick what you want, and then you go sit down, and if you didn't get enough, sorry, but you end up getting food, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But this, I feel like this can go wrong pretty quickly, so I feel like maybe this is a lesson. Like, if you're gonna do a buffet at your wedding, do it right, and make sure there's a lot of food.
Be organized, plan better, do better.
And make sure nobody's going up for seconds. I'm surprised nobody clocked that shit. Like, I would get up on the mic and be like, hi, everyone, just make sure you're waiting. You know what I mean? I feel like shit happened. Like, I don't know, but there are people who just have, like, no wedding etiquette. Like, we were at a wedding, and, like, people, there were cupcakes instead of cake. And there were people just, like, going up to get the cupcakes, and it's like the bride and groom hadn't even, like, cut the cake yet or done anything. And I was like, ooh. But I think they probably just, like, didn't understand. I don't know, maybe they just thought it was, like, a snack.
Yeah, they're dumb.
But
okay, anyways.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, this is kind of a shit show. I don't know. The way they, and also like the way the groom at the beginning was like, why didn't you just go out for food and come back? It's like, you wanted me to leave the wedding? Like, they would have noticed. Like, I don't know. It's just a shit show. Anyway, all right. So that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to try not to cut as much as our conversations down, because I usually cut a lot out to make room, but I feel like I'm just going to kind of let this play out. So if you enjoyed the longer conversations, I'm hot. It's so hot in here. I'm like delirious. If you enjoyed the less cut up conversations, let me know. If you want me to go back to what I did before, let me know. But we're just trying this out, seeing how it works, kind of trying to make it more of like a podcasty vibe. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment below what you thought about these stories, and would you slap a 15-year-old boy if he tried to expose your boobs? I would. Would you?
Oh, sorry, I was spacing up. Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Easy.
Well, yes. Okay, so that's about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.